so whenever you're ready.
Okay. So the first game I was talking about is The World Ends With You. It's got a cool little collectible element to it with the pins that do different powers. And it's a nice fresh take on the typical RPG where it's, one side, the other side, you fight each other. Because you're controlling two screens at once, and different swipes use the different pins, and it was very pretty. It was very well done. It had an awesome soundtrack. I actually bought a bunch of the tracks from iTunes, and it was a fun game. I played a lot of it, and you could trade pins and stuff, so it had the social element to it. So World Ends With You, good game. The next game is Contact. It was a very weird kind of meta existential game, because it's about a character you're controlling through a different character, and the gameplay wasn't phenomenal, because you kind of just walked from one part of the board to the other part and whacked enemies with whatever you had. But there were fun little quirks to it. I remember the actual instruction manual was kind of set up like a live journal, and the little professor had all these funny little comments everywhere. And some of the gameplay mechanics were interesting. With you find these little stickers, and you can put them on you swipe them on with the screen and then swipe them off, and each one does something different. And I thought that was cool. And you power up your special little dog attack. I think his name was Mochi or Moochie, by petting him when you're sleeping, and you can feed him and make him play video games. And it was a little nice. It was very relaxing game to play. It wasn't quick. It was kind of moseying around and killing things. The next game is Devil Survivor, which was awesome. It was classic SMT goodness with all your different demons that you can summon and fuse, and it was set against this modern day Tokyo backdrop, and it was a really good blending of a typical tactical game while also being an RPG. So it was just, I don't know, it was perfect. It was a great SMT experience on the DS, and it had branching storylines and really interesting time mechanics where certain things happened at certain times, and there were tons of really odd characters that you could kind of either let die or save or join your party, and there were lots of good paths and interactions to it. I really enjoyed it. Radiant Historia, a new game, well, relatively new. It came out, I think, last month. It's a very typical RPG, but it's an absolutely beautiful RPG. The graphics are stunning, the character portraits, the backgrounds, the music is great, and it's got a very Chrono Trigger feel to it, because a lot of the game involves hopping between two timelines, and things that you do in one timeline will affect another timeline, or if you hit a brick wall in one timeline, you jump to the other, and you can go back and help people, and they'll help you in the future. And it's a little different than your typical RPG, because instead of, one side, the other side, and you just go back and forth, the enemies are on a 3x3 grid. And a lot of times you will be vastly outnumbered, because you have your little party 3, and there'll be 6 people on the other side. And the whole little gameplay quirk is that you have to try and knock all of the enemies onto the same little square, so you can take them all out in one hit. Good little classic RPG with some fun twists on it. The last one is Pokemon. I'm going to go with Pokemon White. It's the newest one, but I've played a lot of the iterations of the Pokemon franchise, and what I've found is that it's something you can always go back to. You can take a break from it, but you always fall back into this world that's been built up over multiple decades, one decade. And it's always got this really good social element to it. People are always trading and playing mini games and battling each other. And Nintendo does a really good job of keeping the community invested in the game by always releasing new things and little items to help catch legendaries and stuff like that. But it's a really good, solid game that you never go in feeling lost, because there's always people to help, point you in the right direction, and creatures to catch, and it's got the most replay value out of any DS game I've ever played. And And it was just a lot of fun, and it's great for long plane rides. So that's it for me. Those are my 5 favorite DS games. Yes.